Hey everybody, it's Thea. How's it going? Surprise, we've got a mid-month pop-up bonus video. Woo woo. I've just had a couple of very exciting things come into my life that I wanted to share, and I want to talk about it, and that's what we're gonna do today. So grab your tarot and witchy pants, put them on, and we're gonna dive right in to all of the fun and exciting things going on. And honestly, I feel like this is almost a little bit like sparked by the fact that the snow has nearly melted and I feel like a human being again. I don't know what it is about that big old blanket of snow that's just on the ground consistently from November till now, but the day it melts, it's so wonderful. And it also coincides really nicely because tomorrow, or today, depending on what day I get this up, is Ostara. And Ostara, for a lot of people, particularly in the UK, I find that Imbolc tends to be like, oh, it's kind of starting to feel like spring. But here it's not till Ostara. When Ostara happens, it's like, okay, let's get ready to roll. The garden is waking up. I did a little wander around and I can see like the little sprouts of things poking out. I don't know how they grow. I genuinely don't know how they're growing underneath all that snow and the cold, but they are. The strawberries have got little new leaves poking out of the ground. The parsnips that I left in the ground last summer are still there shooting little green leafy babies out, and it makes me so happy. It's like my heart just kind of gave a good shake and like cracked its outer layer off, and it's ready to like, we're gonna do this, ready to do this. So excited. Oh my gosh. So I've got some patchouli burning. I'm in my space. I'm centered. I'm not really calm, but I will get calm. and we're gonna get out there, and I'm very excited about sharing a lot of the garden with you. That was kind of like the main purpose of this channel in the beginning, was garden and tarot, and so far there hasn't been actually that much garden related content because it's winter, but I started growing some like seedy plant babies inside. There's some mint that's about to sprout, and I'm just really excited to share that whole part of the journey with you because that's a big part of my practice and the way I connect with the earth. So that was kind of part of the main focus, and then tarot is another layer to kind of add on to that, to be able to explore that connection with the earth. So in the wintertime it's hard. It's very hard. Everything closes down and there's a lot of darkness kind of everywhere. So now that the darkness is lifted, the snow has crept its way back slowly. It's receding minute by minute as it rains right now. It's just, I can feel it. I can feel it, and it's so good. So in relation to the newly awakening earth, which it does this every year, but I'm always surprised. I always feel like it's I can't remember what it was like last year when this happened, but it's like it's new all over again. It's great. Anywho, oh my gosh, being sidetracked. I found a practice that's really got me in that frame of mind, put me in the place where I can venerate the earth in a way that I want to be able to, is poetry. And specifically really earthy poetry. So I've got these two books that I wanted to share that have really been helping me reignite that connection, and it's working really well. So the first one, this is just a like compilation book of pocket poems. It's Everyman's Library of Pocket Poets. It's poetry compilation book, but this one specifically is a collection themed around the equine green poems of fields, meadows, and grasses. And something about that space, like an open field, an open space, a lawn, a meadow, it helps me tap into the vastness of the earth in a way that's like, I don't have mountains here, right? I wish I did. Oh my gosh, I wish I did. I don't have the sea here. I don't have that, you know, grand energy kind of floating around me all the time, but we've got fields and we've got meadows. So I'm going to try and really appreciate that particular aspect of that earth energy, and these poems kind of bring that in. So these are great. They're in wonderful, they're categorized, they're short. I also kind of like dipping in and out of them occasionally. Not like just sitting down and committing to read the whole book, but just kind of like flipping to a poem at random, or finding one in like a category that I'm drawn to kind of just kind of, it's like a meditation, right? It's a way to kind of slow down your brain. You're reading rhythmically instead of just like when you're normal, you know, when you're normally reading, you're just kind of, especially if you're the kind of person who reads fast, where you're almost skimming, you're not even really like, you're not focusing on each word, you're stringing together the ideas faster than your eyes can almost see them sometimes. But with poetry, you read rhythmically the way it's written, and it kind of helps slow your brain down. You really relish the words used. You kind of luxuriate in the deliciousness of the words they've chosen to use, which is why poetry is so wonderful and why some like super short poems can be the most beautiful things you've ever read. So I've been diving in, I've been tucking in, reading a random page, almost meditating on it. And this has been great. This series of compilation books of poetry has, like, I don't know, maybe not hundreds, but definitely tens of different books about, you know, it's a collection of poetry that's been categorized for you in a nice way. So if you want love poems, there's one on love poems. There is one more that I do definitely want to pick up, and there's poems about trees, and I want to be able to incorporate that tree energy in that way as well. So I think if I've got my echoing green and my poems about trees, and there's one about the sea as well, but I love the sea. I definitely connect with the sea, but I don't have it around me all the time. It's not an energy that is around, so maybe we'll get there eventually, but for now, trees, fields, and there is one about solitude, which I might pick up as well. Yeah, so this has been delicious. I've also been reading this one. This is just little, and these are just quick, little short. They're almost like tiny ideas, like the little minutiae of life. They're delicious. This is called The Field Guide to the Haunted Forest, and it's a collection of poetry by Jared K. Anderson, and he's known as the Crypto Naturalist, who I've been following on Instagram for a little while, and I just deeply adore the posts, which are basically small poems. They're so beautiful. They're so earthy and magical, and it just lights my soul on fire. It's so good. So I've been reading these. I've been kind of tabbing them as to which ones I want to use for other specific purposes, and I've kind of also discovered that when it comes to like ritual in general, I find poetry is my preferred medium of really get in there and connect and venerate and celebrate and appreciate and, you know, get my brain tinglies from that. So these particular poems have been what I've almost been using in a very deeply spiritual way, as opposed to just, you know, reading poems for their beauty. It's gone a step further in that direction. So yes, earthly poems have been high on the list of things this last couple weeks, and I've been incredibly digging it. Oh, they're so good. I'd read one for you, but they're so good. I don't want to spoil it by me reading it. Just first, you could do with this one specifically, follow the Crypto Naturalist and read some of the posts, and if you feel called to do it, pick up the book, because it is so good. And poetry books are relatively inexpensive too, so love it. But yes, poems or spells. I said what I said. Guys, look what got here. Okay, I wasn't going to do like a designated video about this because there are a few about, I believe, but I have absolutely not been able to put down this tarot deck since she arrived at my house. This is Lilifer. This is the tarot deck created by Marion Constantin of Little Darkness Press, the creatrix of the Reclaim Oracle as well, and I have fallen for this harder than I've ever fallen for a tarot deck before. Also so quickly. By the time I had finished my flip through of this deck, I was like, yeah, this is what it feels like when all of the chips fall into place. So here's our lovely box. The Lilifer Tarot. It's so cute. And look at the inside. Oh my gosh. All the little details. Beautiful. Okay, I'll read you the back. This was a Kickstarter that I backed back in probably October or November, and she did a wonderful job. Oh my gosh, patience. I'm good with patience, but I was just so excited about this one that the wait seemed to feel like it was forever, but she's finally here. I'm so happy about it. The back says, a unique deck of 80 cards honoring the esoteric roots of tarot with hand-painted watercolors. Lilifer comes with a booklet filled with traditional card meanings and magical correspondences to help you reconnect with your innate knowledge and intuitive nature. Woo. So this deck is fantastic. Comes the little white book, which is actually great, and we'll tuck into that in a second. And this is the deck herself. So size wise, she's a little shorter and a little bit wider than your standard tarot deck, but it's a wonderful size. I have medium to small size lady hands and it fits great. If you're curious about the card, it's thick and a little stiff, but it will break in nicely, and it is, I can ruffle shuffle it. It's just, you know, little bit stiff. The backs, like so, absolutely adorable. Let me tell you a bit about this deck. So this deck is so beautiful. It's esoteric in that it relies heavily on the symbolism in the cards to provide the message. And when I say symbolism, I mean literal alchemical symbols. We've got the zodiac symbols, we have the elemental symbols, we have color, we have shape, we have composition, we have the odd animal reference as well as relying heavily on the numerology. So this is, it's not the one you're going to want to read really intuitively per se, because the symbols are there for you to tap into. But it is such a great reader. It's clear like a Marseille is, but it's more vivid and a little bit more free-flowing and modern than say Marseille is. Let me show you some of the cards while I wax poetic about it. So here we go. The majors have the label at the bottom. So this one's the world. And you can see we've got the planetary symbol for Saturn there because that is the planet that represents the world card. So for the minor arcana, this is the Seven of Swords here. And you can see we have Aquarius down here, and there should be a planet, yeah, moon. So we've got, and it's the, you know, traditional planet. So, especially if you know your Thoth, moon in Aquarius is the Seven of Swords, which is where you get part of the meaning. We've got the blue in this deck is swords, like a darker kind of a purpley blue is swords. And then we do have a number as well. So sometimes a bit of a search and find, but it's nice. It's delicious. So Seven of Swords there. And then if you go to the book while I'm here, once you've kind of grabbed that collection of symbols into a meaning for you, you can go to the book and look up the magical correspondences. So we've got the colors are all described for you there. It gives you a breakdown in the book of the zodiac signs as well. So Aquarius here, got elemental dignitaries. Here's Aquarius. It tells you Aquarius is a fixed sign. All the correspondence is there, which is great. I extra love how there's herbs, stones, and body part related correspondences in here for each of those signs. It talks about the planets, feminine and masculine principles. There's numerology there. Gives you the sacred symbols. So it's just, it's like a little key to be able to put together all the symbols that are in the deck. So you can come to this as a beginner. It's not, you know, it's not like, oh, you need to be a practiced tarot practitioner to be able to understand this. All of the information that you're going to need to decipher the symbols in the cards are in this little book, and you can delineate your messages from those, and it's so good. There's a little bit on the sacred creatures, so you'll see dragons, fish, ravens, wolves, etc. A couple of spreads, and then you get into the meanings of the cards. And then for the majors, we've got upright and reversed, as well as their element, their planet, their stones they're associated with, so crystals, etc., herbs, as well as there's a little affirmation for each one. And all of that's condensed into like a tiny little tidbit of beautiful information, and it is so good. It reads so well. And there's the two bonus cards, which are the Lilith and the Lucifer card, which haven't actually come up for me in readings yet, but I'm excited for when they do. They're a personification of the masculine and the divine masculine, divine feminine in the deck, so that's a handy thing to have there. Okay, I'm gonna show you some more cards. So there's our death card. Look at that. So symbols wise on the death card, because why not, we should have a Scorpio here somewhere. Yep, Scorpio's up in this corner because Scorpio is the zodiac associated with death. We've also got water, which is Scorpio's element. There's also a Mars there and a Pluto. Mars is there, but Pluto is Hades in the Greek pantheon, and well, Pluto and Hades are both gods of the underworld, so it makes sense why they'd be on the death card. So yeah, nope, delicious. Oh, Mars might be on there because it's a masculine card. Maybe. Two of Wands, beautiful doorway. We got Mars and Aries for that one. Six of Cups. And that is the Sun in Scorpio, if I remember correctly. Beautiful. Ace of Pentacles. So instead of a green, we've got like a tealy color for Pentacles, which is nice. It keeps the color palette really, like, this is like one of the softest. It's not really pastel, but it's like almost there. That kind of deck set I've gotten. It's really nice. Oh, it's just so, it feels raw and emotional. Here's my Strength card. Oh, I love her. Look at her. Look at her. She's beautiful, my little she beast. And there's a couple of decks where the Strength card, the lion and the woman have kind of merged together, Lightseers being one. I think there's a few others. And it doesn't always work out. I don't know, I really can't stand the one in the Lightseers deck, but this one I love. Oh, she's perfect. Love her. She's even got little scars on her. Beautiful. Anyway, I'm a Leo, so that's why I'm like fussy about the Strength card so much. We got 8 of Swords there. Oh, it's just so expressive in a really simple way. Oh, I love this one. Look at the roots coming down. 10 of Pentacles. So, like, you've planted your legacy and it's growing under the earth there. Beautiful. So good. Love that. 9 Cups. 9 Wands. Oh, there's a Devil card. Look at it. It's so sassy. Got Krampus vibes for the Devil. Now, this is one of the, yeah, this is a core card. This is the King. So the Kings and the Queens in this deck are both equal. There's not one like higher or lower than the other. And the reason you can tell it's a King is there's a letter K. So this is the King of Swords. He's the heir of air. So you can see the big air symbol there in our K. There's a Gemini and Mercury. He's got a Venus symbol on his chest as well, which is curious, but all the more to dive into. There's a little Ouroboros up at the top above his head, so love that. So good. So that's our King of Air. Our Knights are only kind of delineated by, there's 2 elemental symbols on the Knights. They're also riding something. So this is the Knight of Swords. He's on a bird, crow per se, and then the Knight of Wands is on a dragon. So we know that Knights are fire. So with court cards, each one of the courts, Page, Knight, Queen, King, has an element associated with it. Pages are earth, Knights are fire, Queens are water, Kings are air. So when you mix that with the element of their suit, you get basically the essence of the energy of that card. So for our Knight of Air, or Swords, Knights are fire, so he's the fire of air, and the 2 symbols are on here. So the one in the bottom corner is the one that delineates what he is. So he's fire, so he's a knight, and then the colored one, air, is the suit. He's also got a sword and is the color of air in the deck. So it's fairly straightforward, but so that's that one. And here's our Knight of Wands, who's the fire of fire. It's the fieriest one. And then you can tell we've got our little there's the black symbol, which delineates that he's a knight, and then the big yellow one, which says it is of Wands. So Knight of Wands, fire of fire. Super cool. And he's riding a dragon. It's pretty clear that's a fire card. So that's how they do the Knights. And then the Pages are the, let's see if I can find you one. There's the Knight of Pentacles. He's riding a wolf. Page. Here's the Lilith card. She's on the box, or the box jacket as well. So she's pretty lovely there. 2 swords. Here we go. Here's a page. This is a Page of Earth. So you can see she's got a wolf there, which is a pretty good indication that it's an earth suit. But here we have Earth of Earth. So the Earth of Earth is the Page, the Malkuth of Malkuth, the connection to the grounded essence of the material world, the Page of Earth. We love her. She's so special. The full card's nice too. This is just kind of a collection of everything. We have all 4 elemental suits present, as well as a smattering of creatures and just a little bit of chaos that the Fool kind of embodies in itself. So that's a lovely one. Oh, 4 of Cups. 5 of Cups. Oh, okay. Another thing to point out, the numbering is fine, except for 4 and 5. The way she's written the numbers 4 and 5, I just take a wee bit of getting used to. For example, this, it looks kind of like a backwards 4, but it's actually a 5. This is a 5 of Cups. And all of them are like that. It is supposed to be like that, and it is a symbol for the way a number 5 is written that I don't quite understand. I'd like to know more about that, but all the other numbers are fairly recognizable, but the 4 and 5 confuse me a little bit. King of Cups, we've got a trident, a little Poseidon action there. Oh, the Empress is beautiful too. Oh, she's just so nurturing. It looks like you want to give her a hug. She's perfect. They're just really great depictions of the energies of the cards of the tarot, and I just love it. So I've been, like, this hasn't left my side since it arrived at my house. It's delicious. That is the Lilifer Tarot. It also came with a tarot cloth, which is like the coolest tarot cloth I've ever seen, because it's full of more correspondences. If that wasn't enough correspondences in the deck for you, look what we got here. So we've got a wheel, zodiac, it's got the seasons around the outside, and then all of the zodiac signs with their elements, their ruling planets, their qualities, and then under that there's the tarot card associated with each of the zodiac signs, and then under here at the bottom we have all the planets and their associations and the tarot card that they're associated with. We've got the moon phases around the outside, which is fantastic, all of them, and the tarot cards that are associated with the moon phases. Oh, it's just so lovely. And then we've got all our elements for the court cards there. We've got the suits. We've got more elemental associations there. There's a list of numerology on this side. There's numerology, and then there's all of the major arcana right here, and then a keyword for each one of them. This is great. This is perfect. Marion did such a good job. I feel like I never need another tarot deck again. Anyway, I've been so excited about this deck coming. It's a perfect modern deck. I'm really fussy about modern decks. They have to have that. For me, I really like that rooting in the knowledge of the system of tarot in like a very elemental, numerological, slightly esoteric way. If it's got astrological associations on it, count me in. I'm so excited about it. So what I think I'd like to do with this deliciously magical deck is I think I'd like to pull a couple cards for you if you want. I'm just gonna pull 2 for just a quick little message. Oops, and by pull I mean one's going to jump out for us. So we got one. Ooh. Let me get another one. Be more intentional with the pulling of it. That's one card to go with for everybody. What do we need to know? Alright, what do we got? So we got the Magician and the Knight of Earth, which is Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Magician. So our Magician, here's what the Magician looks like. Absolutely stunning. Always about bringing the above to the below. Being a conduit. Having all of the tools at your disposal to do what it is that is your will. And then our Knight of Pentacles is our slow-moving knight, is our meticulous, methodical, earthly focused knight. He's the fire of earth, so he's the passion, he's the movement and the will of the earthly realm. He's diligent, smart, reliable, resourceful. So, you have everything you need to be that for yourself. If you need that motivation, if you need the will to be able to get things done, to achieve what it is you want to achieve, to tackle those problems that are before you, you've got everything. You just need to, you know, this combination to me screams like willpower. This is about your will. You have it, you can do it. Plod through. It may not be the fastest and most dazzling situation, but you can definitely do it. And you'll notice, so here, well, this is fun. So our Magician, they're pointing up as well as down, you know, the usual as above, so below, as within, so without situation. But our Knight here it's pointing. He's pointing to the ground, focus towards the earth, focus towards the material realm, focus on the projects that you want to do, the things you want to get started on, and put that mental energy into it, collect your resources, do what you gotta do, and it's gonna go great. So, ooh, that's fun. Okay, so that is This is my new love. This is the Lilifer, and I very rarely gush so unabashedly about a tarot deck, but I feel like I couldn't create a tarot deck for myself that was this specific to my tarot needs, is what I'm saying. And this is entirely based on what I like in a tarot deck. So if you're one who really likes intuitive, really scenic, being able to like pick out from the way the characters and the cards are interacting with each other and like the scenicness of it, this may not be a deck for you, but it is for me. I love it. It's perfect. So thank you, Marianne, for making such a delicious gem of a tarot deck. It will be treasured forever. I love it so much. Okay, on to the next one. So the other deck that made its way into my grubby little paws this month was the New Choice Tarot de Marseille. This is by Rosario Salerno, and it's an indie deck. Came from Italy, I think. Berlin and Ferrara, Italy. So yeah, it was created in those two countries. This is number 201 of 500 of the second edition. And this is the coolest Marseille deck I've ever seen. Not only does it have your, you know, usual, not really usual, it's not usual at all. The majors are drawn in a very, P.S. there's a little bit of nudity, just so you know. Not too much nudity, just the right amount. The characters and the majors and the courts are based on modern-ish people in the kind of like underground Berlin LGBTQ club scene, and it's fantastic. For example, this is the devil. I love this card. It's so fun. Look at that. So fun. Hanged man. Bit of bondage action going on. Delicious. So good. It's just fun and sassy and creative. Look at Justice here. She's so cool. Oh, it's fantastic use of color. Here's the Page of Pentacles. It's just, oh, they've got so much personality. I love it. So good. The Tower, that looks like a fun time. And I think the building that the tower is supposed to be based on a building that had a very famous club in Berlin in it. I think the guidebook says something about that. And then the minors are I think what really did it for me. I thought, oh, that's a really great way to do the majors. That's fun, it's colorful, I love the art style, so beautiful. But the minors have included in each of the cards, they're traditional minors, but they've got botanicals on them that are specifically and deliberately related to florography, or the Victorian language of flowers. So the flowers in each one have a specific meaning that pertains to the meaning of the card, and it says it in the guidebook, and I love it. Oh, it's so good. So this one is Passion Flower, and this is the Five of Cups. I can recognize most of them. It's awesome. This one, okay, this one looks to me like a Eryngium, but I'll have to double check that one. The leaves do. Where's one that I definitely know? I went through them in the beginning. When I first got it, I went through and I tried to identify each of the flowers. This one, Campanula. Oh, there's the Hermit. The Hermit's really cool too. So good. Love that. Calla Lilies. And the Six Pentacles. Oh, there's the Moon. The Moon's a beautiful card too. They're just, oh, they're great. I really like how they feel too. This deck, oh, it's also gilded in copper, which is a nice touch. But they're matte. They feel like the Prismavisions. If you've ever, Prismavisions, Cosmovisions, Light Visions, the newer editions of it, it's like matte, but it's like a nice slippery matte. That's my experience with it. Like shuffling it feels just like shuffling the Prismavisions, which is just great. It's a delicious experience. It's the perfect size, not too big, not too small. There's the Two of Coins with Rosario at the top there. I don't know who it is on the bottom. I'll have to look that up. Might be his partner, but yeah, New Choice Tarot 2017. So the Two of Coins in all Marseille decks are usually like a nod to the publisher, so that's fantastic. Oh, here's our Lover's card. Again, our traditional choice option with the Marseille style. We got two ladies and a little Cupid fellow, also known as Eros. Ace of Wands. So they're not lewd. I wouldn't say these are like, I kind of forget about the nudity when I'm using it. Like, it doesn't even faze me. That just might be you know, a me thing, but it doesn't come up all that often, and most of the time they are in fact wearing pants. But yeah, there's the sun card. So nice. Most of the time they are fairly clothed in fun fashions, very couture, very avant-garde, very fantastic, and I love it. It gives me fashion inspiration, as I am a person who tends to only wear earth tones, dark jewel tones, and black. But it's great. Part of, like, there's a secret part of me that wants to live like this. Here's the Fool. So we got a butt. We got a butt in the Fool, but that's the same with all Marseille decks. So, oh, I love it. And oh, he's really cool. You can see his tattoos. The tattoos on his arm are all of the suits. Oh, it's just so well thought out. Every little detail was absolutely delicious. So, you hear that? That's the sound of a good tarot deck. This deck is great. And I've been using the pants off of it. Pun intended. Well, not intended, but posthumously intended. The creator, Rosario Salerno, he's in the process of making a tarot deck, the New Voice Tarot. Check him out. Watch the progress there. It looks like it's going to be cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick that one up. Well, one depth here. But I think because of the way I like to read, the Marseille deck is the one. Where's our unnamed arcana? Number 13. So cool. Look at the faces. Look at them. They're not, you know, that looks like our emperor and empress kind of almost. They've got crowns and all that jazz. Delicious. Okay. But yes, I love the way Marseille decks read for me because it just kind of lets my brain go a little bit. It's, you know, to pick up the hits I want to pick up based on, you know, elements, numerology, and now we've got the lovely flower element in this deck. Perfect. So good. So, very fantastic Tarot de Marseille, which I have been thoroughly enjoying this last little while. So, those are the things. Those are the things that I've been super excited about. So yeah. Thanks so much for being here for my little gush fest. Mostly about Lilifer because so excited. But yeah, these two have been filling my heart and I just wanted to like share them with literally anybody. Someone else enjoy my excitement about them. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Reading poetry, reading tarot cards, and watching the snow melt. So I'm in a pretty good mood, if I just say so myself. So yes, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will see all of you fine people in my next video. Bye.